That's the painting that I got done yesterday that is a mixed media work. It's watercolor and soft pastel. And that's from this Painting Mountains course. And I'm going to not talk about a Christmas cookie catastrophe. I'm just using it as an example, just so that you know just how much I dislike this Nancy Drew
oh my God.
season 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they put out a TV series of Nancy Drew, and it didn't draw much of an audience in the 70s.
Well, they're trying it again.
The
anyway,
Hardy Boys did a little bit
there's
better.
some yam. There's some yellow fleshed potatoes with garlic, black pepper, and salt. That's and a little bit of oil to fry it in. And then there's some plantains, onion, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. I think that's it. And then butternut squash and tomato mixed with pineapple on top. So that's what James is eating, and that's what the birds will be eating.
Wow, they're going to be happy.
Yep.
They've been hanging around waiting.
Well, there were about 1 million of them talking to me in the trees, and so we'll see if they come back. I would have fed them, but I didn't want them
we had a
to
home invasion.
make a huge mess while we were having the deck dinner.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so I didn't, and I should have, because I mean there were so many here and they were really hungry, but there's still a few, so maybe a few will get the seeds. So.
Well, that looks a little bit more like Nancy Drew. I figured that she'd look like the one woman who was playing her in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't mind the way she looks, but there's no real actors in this series. They're really bad.
Yeah.
And they're old enough to actually
know
better by then, right? So.
Well, the actor in the 70s wasn't that good, and the actors that had acting, the Hardy Boys, were maybe even worse. Parker Stevenson and I can't remember the other guy, but it might have been David Cassidy's younger brother. Was it Sean Cassidy? I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, I can remember my youngest sister was all head up on the Hardy Boys series and stuff like that while she was reading my old Hardy Boys. I think she and my youngest brother got into them. I should have taken them with me, but I was kind of like embarrassed. So when I moved out, or my family moved out, and I moved into Lethbridge, we were in Sterling, and they moved into Saskatchewan, I let them keep it, and oh my heavens, I preserved those Hardy Boys, you know, like carefully. I mean, the one I'd read the most, Sinister Signpost, I'd gone through 13 times, and the binding was kind of falling apart. But some of them got lost. They really ran roughshod over them. So I kind of like the Hardy Boys, the old ones. These were the originals. Anyway, yeah, I think they were all.
They're not staying true to these stories at all with this Nancy Drew series.
Oh, they are actually going
adult. Like there's some adult content, and
oh my God.
Like
that was not supposed to be the way they were saying.
No, Nancy Drew, she's one episode she's wanting lots of sex. She's got sex on the brain.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that way.
Then she ends up getting it on with one of the Bobbsey twins.
Oh my God, do they have the Bobbsey twins in there?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And there's the actress from Stargate SG-1 who played the Doctor, who we thought was cute. We liked her.
Yeah, she's cute.
Well, she must have signed up for it and thought, oh well, this will be great. And then she realized, oh, this is crap. Please murder me to kill me off, because yeah, she dies in this season. So, because yeah, it's a terrible
It's a different way of dying of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can't, she's not in many of the scenes, really, so you can't rely on her to carry the whole series because she's not even in most of it. You have these young adults who are terrible actors trying to carry this thing along. I mean, the writing isn't even really great. And sometimes I think the writers know it and they make fun of certain things, right? While they're going along. I don't
Writers have a sense of humor. Usually it shows up in comedies like Gomer Pyle. Gomer is the name of a I wouldn't call it
and
a tribe,
maybe it would
but,
work if it was a
barbarian
comedy.
tribe.
But the thing is that the actors, they're all too serious about being terrible actors. And it's dreadful to watch. There's some mystery there and stuff like that, but it's supernatural sort of stuff. Like it's been a long time since I went through Nancy Drew stuff, so I can't really say. And when I read books, fiction, especially when I was younger, I realized like I would be reading and then I'd get to a point when they'd describe something in the book and I was like, wow, that doesn't fit with what I've been reading, right? Because I've been imagining my own story in my head the whole time, and the characters and everything, and suddenly when I'm given more information by the author, it doesn't work, right? I have to go back to the beginning because I've imagined a whole different story. Anyway, but which I like. I like my stories, but it makes it difficult to read fiction sometimes because anyway, whatever. So I seem to remember Nancy Drew was not a total entitled bee with I mean, yeah, she has the whole hero complex thing, but whatever. And I don't remember her being a kleptomaniac. Was she a total klepto?
I'm not a big expert on the series.
I don't remember.
She's not that privileged because her mom is dead.
Yeah.
And
as she is.
Her dad, a lawyer or something?
Yeah. But,
so,
I mean, in this show, he's not her real dad. He's, she comes from a wealthy... her wealthy one-night stand, whatever.
I'm messing around with this story. So does she still have a little lump of love called Ned? Is it Ned in the name of her boyfriend? Or is she playing the field?
No, she's really not doing anything in this season besides having sex with one of the Bobbsey twins. And
okay, so they're really messed around with this story.
I mean, she has this whole, oh, will she go for the good guy or the bad guy? You know, because there's this police chief or something like that. That's whatever. Well, and she goes for one of the Bobbsey twins, which is, I mean, he's not a good guy. He's, in this story anyway, he's very bad. He's doing all sorts of bad things. He steals, like, this is a very supernatural series, which I remember the Nancy Drew thing. There would be supernatural things, but then, you know, it was always explained. It wasn't actually supernatural. You see what I'm saying? It was a great mystery that it seemed like it was going to be supernatural. There were ghosts or whatever, but nope, it turned out there weren't.
It's the same thing with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Ghosted skeleton rock.
But here, it's all supernatural. It's all supernatural with this. It's like, oh, where's the mystery? Instead, they're just all supernatural. Stupid. It's stupid. I don't know who. They must have paid the Nancy Drew people to make this, to be able to use the name or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, they're trying to get money out of it, right? They tried to mature it up. People were laughing at the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew.
Yeah, well, just write better mysteries. Whatever.
Well.
Or you can make it a little more adult without making it totally...
Well, it's just, it sounds pretty sleazy, really.
Yeah, totally sleazy. they've sleazified the Nancy Drew thing, which, you know, I wasn't a big fan of Nancy Drew stuff. I remember I read it because I think somebody told me I should be reading it. Because I was the Nancy Drew age and I was reading Stephen King stuff, and I think somebody told me, oh, you should read Nancy Drew. And so I was reading it and I was like, God, it's every book is an advertisement for another book, and it's...
Well, not just the one coming up, for the previous ones.
Yeah, you're right. It was shameless that
through
way.
The whole series.
Yeah, through the whole thing. So, and anyway.
Anyway, it's, yeah, they used to have, like, Hardy Boys, the same thing, Ghost at Skeleton Rock. It was perfectly down-to-earth explanation. So, spoiler alert, people were trying to scare people off.
They're coming back and they're looking at the seeds and they're like, why didn't you put it on the rail?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll give a little bit here.
Anyway, what were some of the other ones? Secret of Skull Mountain. It was, spoiler alert, I think it was something like an Indian burial site. I think they still call them Indians in the United States. What were some of the others? Yellow Feather Mystery. It was the bad guy was a former student at a place. He'd become a teacher or something like that, or the principal. Nasty fella.
Yeah, they're all drifting back in. I can see them through the window in the porch. And they're in that lilac, so they're like, oh,
that's good.
Just,
well, you know, the other gender angle was really underplayed in both of those series, Hardy Boys. And, you know, like Joe Hardy, the younger guy, he was supposed to be something like 17. Ultimately, I think he started off as 15. But they aged him over the course from, I think, 1927 till, I guess, nowadays. And he had a little lump of love called Iola Morton. And the way they put it is, he thought she was all right for a girl. That's like a 12-year-old. Yeah. But then it's aimed for, they say, from 10 to 14 years old. Yeah. I got into them a little bit early. I was 8 years old when I started off. 8 and a half. Thanks to an aunt who was a teacher. It's the best present she ever gave me. She gave me a couple of Hardy Boys when I was in Africa. It was for Christmas time both times. And Christmas time in Africa, where we were at.
Well, a book is
it was the rainy season, summertime.
Christmas gift, you know.
What was that?
A book is a great Christmas gift.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the weather. It was gloomy around that point in time, so it was kind of gloomy and mysterious. Mm-hmm. So I can remember just reading in the gloom. The one, A Mark on the Door, I think I took it with me. We were visiting some people, well, the heads of the mission were up, where we stayed the second time. And I was out on the porch. It was nighttime. And The Mark on the Door. It wasn't the best one.
Hey, baby.
It was okay. The first one I got was The Sinister Signpost. And that day, I read The Sinister Signpost, and my brother got a mystery. It was the Boy Scouts of America adventuring in South America, something like that. And then, what was it? My brother got two, I believe it was two Dickens novels, and I read the short one, Oliver Twist. I guess the other one was short, but it was too mature for me, so I didn't finish it. But that was A Tale of Two Cities. So it was the original Hardy Boys actually weren't that bad. They did have a lot of comedy in them. They made fun of a fat friend of theirs called Chet Morton.
they made fun of their peppery, I think that's the term that's so often used for it, ant, spinster ant, I think they use the term spinster. I'm sure that's politically incorrect.
Yeah, I mean,
nowadays.
this story, Nancy Drew, they have, it makes sense that she would have a lot of girlfriends to solve the mystery with, because it's Nancy Drew. But then there's guys involved, and there's gay and lesbian issues. There's
one of her
a lot of different
girlfriends. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
One of her two girlfriends. I don't know if it was Bess or something like that.
Okay.
Or it's kind of boyish. Boyish styles and stuff like that. But I guess she was dumb. She didn't solve the mysteries. And then there was a real girlish friend, and she was just always being scared and things like that. The cool thing is Ned, her little lump of love, was kind of scared, you know. We shouldn't do that. She's already.
Yeah, well, it really bothered me how much of a klepto she was.
Yeah, exactly.
And it bothered me that the Boxy twin guy that she's with, he's at one time he's stolen a shroud that can bring people back to life. And but the catch is that when you bring somebody back to life with the shroud, then the last person who it brought back to life dies. So Nancy Drew's already brought back a friend with the shroud, so she's got to try to stop this Boxy twin from using it, or her friend will die, right?
Sounds pretty goofy.
It is. It's absolutely ridiculous. You could have some other character who's dealing with the supernatural side of things that is absolutely convinced that that's what happened, but you can't have Nancy Drew solving supernatural things and saying, oh yes, that's what happened, it's all supernatural. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's the bottom of almost any stack, I would say. Yeah. Because if you watched A Christmas Cookie Catastrophe review yesterday, you know how I feel about this Nancy Drew series. It was dreadful. Dreadful. So, talking about the painting mountains thing again. So, the reason that I did this in soft pastels is it's an oil demo. This is oil demo off the second disc of this. And so I just watched it a couple times. I watched it through and did a bit of a watercolor thing where I negative painted the snow things on the mountains just to practice the technique of doing so, because I had tried another method that didn't work at all. And so then I tried a bunch of different things with this. Like I went into this thinking, well, I'm just going to do it with soft pastels, right? So I felt good about it because I've used soft pastels quite a bit in the past. And yeah, and this is they're actually artist grade soft. I don't know if you get soft pastels that aren't artist grade, honestly, but they're great. So I'm a lot happier with this than using dollar store watercolor paint, that's for certain. But I don't know if I showed you yesterday, but the dollar store blue makes a better sky than the ultramarine watercolor Reeve blue, which just so you know, if you're wanting to do a sky, the watercolor dollar store one worked just fine. And the water, and then I ended up doing it over with soft pastel anyway, just to make it all fit. I didn't do the clouds up here with soft pastel again. They were fine with the watercolor, and the only reason I did the soft pastel over the sky part was there were a couple water drops in the sky, and I was like, well, I know how to fix that. And so I went over it, and so anyway, it makes it fit. It looks, I could have left it if I hadn't had those water drops. I might have left it. I could have left the water down here because it was absolutely fine, but I didn't. And I really like with his, if you look at his oil demo too, I didn't follow his mountain thing exactly. I was just kind of going by feel. You know, I tried to do it pretty closely, and then I did some things like his actually went further, like over here, and I didn't have a V here really to worry about. He put another mountain in there just to soften that V. And I do have a few V's. You can see one there and one there. And that one's not too bad. That one's not great. But I don't know. I liked it. And I liked trying different things, like he said make sure you bring warm colors into it, so that, because people are attracted by the warm colors, right? And I think I did a good job with that. I have, like, he had the light shining through so that it could pick up warm colors here, and I put a little more on the bottom, and I ended up putting more trees, and I caught the light in the trees by just doing tick 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 with the soft pastel stick. So I just tick tick tick, and along the sunny side of the tree, and then I don't even have anything on the opposite side of the tree a lot of the time, on the dark side, any branches ticking out, you know, like spruce branches. But for the most part you see it anyway. I did have with the bigger ones, this one here I put it on both sides, and that one there I didn't put it on both sides, but most of them I did not, and you still think that it's there when you look at it. So yeah, I'm very happy with this one. But it's just a painting, you know, or a piece of work. It's not anything personal. I didn't put any animals in it or anything, which that's my thing. I like putting animals in it.
Yeah, if I did mountains working from Waterton, I'm getting to know some of the mountains there. They're different shapes, colors. Ruby Ridge has got a amazing,
well, you would want to stay true
argillite
to the to what's in the mountain and stuff, right? You'd be a lot more careful about that. With me, I'm just doing some sort of abstract thing with colors to make it mountainish, and so that it feels good in the end. But I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I'm gonna, now that I've done this, that's great. I'll be returning this to the library soon, and
so if you're lined up for it, don't be too
I don't
concerned.
think anybody is,
No,
but
okay.
I'll borrow it from the library again, because I am kind of interested in trying that snowscape demo on the first disc, but with
Tough job, but
with
someone's
oil
gonna do it.
or acrylic, and I don't work with that stuff indoors, so
Bad
I'll
time of
have
year.
to wait until spring before I attempt that.
You got a nice deck out here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the weather has been good. I could go out and get the stuff and work on it up here, but it's...
Right then the weather would change.
Yeah.
Well,
But, anyway, so that's all I really have. Like, I look forward to working with this painting mountains more, but I'm going to go back to the watercolor stuff that I planned on doing in the first place. This makes me feel good doing the soft pastel, because it's something that I'm comfortable using, and so this medium it's not new to me, and doing mountains is and stuff like that, and the landscape stuff with it, but this project helped build my confidence to go back and do the other stuff, really, and not get down about my other mountain painting that didn't work out as well, right? Because eventually they will work out well. you know, almost all the time. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, never get down by anything unless like you're an artist and you're trying to be, and you're blind. Or, like with me running, I can't run anymore. I've got 5 fractured vertebrae.
Yeah.
So if you've got some sort of physical limitation, then don't worry about it. There are lots of other things you can do.
Well, I hope the babies come back.
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Yeah. I think they were bummed that I didn't give them food when they were asking for it. There were 100 of them here, I swear.
There was
so
a
many.
chickadee hanging around, but
Yeah.
they were mainly the sparrows.
Well, in any case, do you have something to talk about for the next 3 minutes?
I really feel like talking about that revolutionary.
Okay, you talk.
But
Go ahead.
man, oh man, he's saying that he doesn't say the capitalist system is broken. And I've run across this idea before from a guy from Nigeria. It's really offensive. Both of them. Saying democracy doesn't work. So one guy said it's broken. What's he doing here? My definition of broken is like this. It's a working definition. Are people running to the so-called broken system? If they are, it ain't so broke. If you'll excuse the bad grammar. If they're running away from it, it's broke. Germany. They tried democracy after World War I. And within 13 years or so, no, 15 years, they've got Hitler in the cat's bird seat. That's a broken democracy. The Jews were trying to escape Germany. Any person of left-wing persuasion that wasn't trying to leave was either an idiot or an agent of Stalin. I'm sure the gypsies were trying to leave. And, you know, like, there are lots of broken systems, generally revolutionary systems. You know, like, I'm wondering what this guy's doing here, complaining about the system being broken, benefiting from the charity of this broken system. And he's not in some revolutionary regime like Nicaragua. There's plenty of places. There's Cuba. There's Iran had its revolution back in 1979, you know. Russia basically is still, it's combining Nazism with communism, from what I can tell. So, yeah, they had their little revolution. Go and enjoy that. Go and enjoy China. You know, one person, and I understand he was of South Asian extraction, he was, in the 80s, he was talking about how the Chinese didn't cotton on too well to people from Africa, exchange students, so-called exchange students. And, you know, like this person that thinks our democratic system is broken, he looks as though he's from South Asia. I believe he's from South Asia. I don't think the Chinese would cotton on too well to him. So, yeah. Working definition. And I swear it works well. People are flocking to it. The system's still kind of working. If they're flocking away from it, it ain't working. And it's revolutionary systems more than anything else that don't work. It's not zero. They're in the minus territory. In other words, they're doing genocide.